So one of the first things that came to my mind was, what is the relevance of EQ? And when all of you guys, youngsters as you are, you would have attended interview after interview, you know, gurgled out your stuff and, oh my God, I was a 6-pointer, 3-grader, whatever, everything. And then suddenly somebody pops up the question saying, have you ever been angry? And and you start thinking from scratch and saying, what is this question now? I didn't come prepared with it. Why is the interviewer asking me, are you ever been angry? Or a very oft asked question is, what are your strengths? And ghar, you are like top of your game and you think, oh my God, I'm like, you know, sort of a paragon of virtue. And then in that same tone, the same interviewer asks, and what's your weakness? And I have seen candidates who are stumbling and fumbling saying, um, you know, short of saying, well, I am God's best creature, they're almost giving that up. But my dear friends, young friends, I had a particular adjective to you is, be very sure and be very aware of who you are. The more candid you are with who you are, you get it right. That reminds me of one of the incidents that I have shortlisted for this. It was my interview. It was my interview with NIT. I was just about 20 and I had this rare urge after college, everything that I want to earn. So NIT came up with this ad, everything. I applied, I got a call. And it is close to about 25 years from now. I remember that little room. This was M5 South Extension in Bhavani House. If you're familiar with Delhi, there's a petrol pump next to it. And there used to be this big five, which used to be called the M5 Bhavani House or NIT House also. I walked up the office, the reception and all that. I'll cut that. And I walk into a room where there is a gentleman. He's sitting on an easy chair with his 2 feet up on the table and he's smoking. Now imagine I am a convent bred, come out of a Christian college, and I walk in for an interview and here is this guy. He looks through his specs and says, looks at my paper, hasn't asked me for a seat or anything and says, so you are Gautami? And I said, yes, exactly. But that scene that I remember, and then after a long time, he asked me, have a seat, Gautami. By the time the 20-year-old in me, the anger in me and everything, like what the hell is going on, you know? We were not as expressive in our anger as your generation is. So a lot of it, we had to just gulp it. So I just kept saying, I'm not going to join here. This guy doesn't have any manners. And for me, manners that time was like the ultimate. I said, I'm not going to join. I'm not going to join. And then a year later, when I asked Rajiv Katyal, my first manager ever, and people fondly used to call him Catty. And I asked him, I said, Catty, why did you do that? He said, Gautami, I was testing your stress because NIT, and at that point of time, office automation was at its peak. It had just come in. So it was like a revolution. He said, I wanted people who could handle stress. I wanted to see, is this a 20-year-old or does she have the heart of a 30-year-old? What is it? I just wanted to test. So the fact that you did not walk out, I have candidates who had walked out of the room and so on. And 1 year later, I said, thanks, Catty, because that set my tone. So boys and girls, people will stress you. People will test you for the stress. Your academic qualification, your engineering degree will all hold you good. Absolutely. But that's something that will constantly keep a tab on you is your EQ. You may be a brilliant student. You may be a coder at par. You may be the neighbor's envy to saying, oh my God, look at his coding skills. But the day he or she gives you a feedback on how you manage your teams and how you manage your colleagues and how you manage your mentors and how you manage your managers, the game is out. So entire skill set, people then come back to us like people and saying, you know what, I need some training. And I grill them and saying, training on what? I thought you are, he says, no, leave all that. I did BTech, MTech, everything I did, but I am not yet a people's person. So while the battle and the debate is not in this session on IQ versus EQ, but I can definitely say it's a run where both are running leg to leg. Once again, in the current situation that we are, I have plenty many examples from my current organization where youngsters, all youngsters, have upped their game like how. I mean, I can give myself at my age that, okay, I had to think, I had to do this. But I am super amazed at their level of intelligence and applying their EQ and EI during these tough times, being so understanding of the whole situation, being understanding of their own skill sets. I have people in my organization who have upskilled themselves overnight in saying, okay, these were a couple of my skill sets. What more can I do? What more can I do? Can I also do this? Can I jump into this? Can I participate into this? And they have upped their game. So if you are really keen to make it a very balanced sojourn of yours as far as work is concerned, then in that case, please balance the two. Never let IQ get out of your heads. I'm sure that can't. Keep practicing, keep taking tough assignments, keep jumping into projects that you are not, keep jumping technologies. Don't become comfortable with a PHP or a Java. Pick up something like a Kubernetes and say, oh my God, somebody just heard and I picked that up. Pick up AWS. I'm not advocating any of these skill sets. I'm not doing, all that I'm saying is multi-skill. That's a great way to be emotionally intelligent also and keeping your IQ in breast also.